I want to talk you through coming out of a slump when you're sitting and finding the length and mobility in your spine. So first, let's go into a really nice slump and don't hold back. Really let your back relax and curve into this area here, drop through here. So there's nothing worse than a slump that you don't enjoy. You should really enjoy a slump. Slouching is a release for the lower back and the middle back, and it can relax in there. The problem is if you spend all day that way, then things just start to hurt, especially up in the neck and the shoulders area, and things get tight. Plus, if you're a horseback rider, this is no way to sit on a horse. It doesn't feel good for the horse, it feels heavy. And lastly, this is not a very mobile position, so if in this position you now try and turn around to look behind you, you won't be able to do it. You try the other way, it just doesn't work. So it's not the most mobile or energetic position for your spine, but every now and then it's nice to have a good slouch. Okay. So what most people do to come out of a slouch is they immediately pull up very quickly and they end up pulling their head back like this, like military. And then if they think their head's back, they just jam it forward, they jam their chin in. And you can hear my voice kind of getting stiff. My lower back is starting to arch and hurt. Maybe they even pull back their shoulders. Good God, everything is stiff. Now I've actually gotten my spine straight here, but at the cost of stiffening my shoulders, stiffening my neck, jamming my voice, and jamming my lower back. So let's try it again. And first go into the full slouch. And actually the first thing I want you to do is find two joints. One is the top joint of your spine where your head is. So that's where your head meets your spine, and it's right under the earlobes, like an axis between the two fingers. And the other joint is here, is the hip joint, it's way down below. It's not here, it's here. And so for this one, you can tip that whole slouched spine forward and back, and just try and find the hip joints, and let's say the base of the pelvis. Okay, so now we're going to use those two joints to help us get into a more comfortable lengthened spine. First we're going to see our pelvis is tipped back here. So we're going to take the whole trunk and tip it forward at the hip joints. Now we're going to come up out of the slouch without just dropping our pelvis back, but we're going to do it without jamming in the lower back. And we're going to actively think of the head being free to rotate forward as we do it. In fact, the first thing we're going to do is let our head rotate forward on the top joint. And then, as we continue to let the head rotate forward, continue to let the head rotate forward, at that very top joint, we're going to unfurl the spine. Continue to let that head rotate forward. Don't get jammed back into here. Don't get jammed into here. Keep your hips free. Continue to let that head rotate forward. Coming up into the world, and you see I haven't lost my voice. I got the full length here as best I can. I'm continuing to release at the top joint. That doesn't mean jamming the chin in. Should be nice and free up here, and I should be able to breathe nicely. Now sometimes the shoulders here will restrict that because they're pulled in. Don't try and fix that by pulling the shoulders back. Just think of a nice width here across the shoulder. You can do some moves for that, reaching out into the world. All the time keeping your head and spine balanced. Nice and open in the front, open in the back of the shoulders. The shoulders are free, the head is going with the spine. Okay, we're going to finish off that last video where we unfurled the spine. My camera ran out of space. I think I have enough. Here we go. So the last thing I want to show you, we went forward, we found that release in the head, we came up, 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 keep releasing in that top joint. That's so important. No stiffening in the neck. The lengthening thought goes straight up the spine, like a balloon rising up. No pulling back, no jamming in the back. We talked about widening in the shoulders. The legs are really free here, so you should be able to wiggle your legs, pick them up, nice and free as your head stays balanced up here. And I just want to show you something about mobility, which is, if you remember, when we were slouching, it was really hard to go back and look around. Once you find that length, as long as you're not holding or stiffening in the back, then to turn around and look behind you is a wonderful stretch. And you feel that whole vertical spine mobile. Keep releasing the head forward to rise, forward rotation to rise up. Lovely, shoulders widening. Notice you don't pull yourself back with your shoulder here. You turn right from the head and let the whole spine follow the head as your shoulder stays free. Now let's do some other movements in this lengthened position. You can go to the side, and the side like a tree kind of waving in the breeze. I'm still thinking of enjoying that length all the way up the spine. I can go curve and curve into extension, not jamming back in the head, letting the head continue to release in a more forward rotation, even as it opens in the front. And I can do any combination of those I want. So I can do a kind of wiggly game with the spine and the shoulders, the legs, and that's it. So, length, mobility, freedom in the head, freedom in the hips. Don't jam the lower back. Do think up, vertical, rising up, enjoying the world around you.